Director of Madan Mohan Malviya Teachers Training Center, former UGC HRDC Dr. Atik sir, and my friend Ankit, and all those who are helping our this center to continually organize mini programs. And I welcome all learned participants. As Ankit has very rightly said, we will make it more interactive also. So I request all of you, whenever and wherever you feel that some query is there, you can ask, even you can stop me in between. Absolutely, there are no rules as far as these 3 hours our program is there from my side. Anybody can interrupt me anytime, can solve, try to get queries solved. That is how we will make this session also live. Now, as Ankit has very rightly pointed out again, national education policy has many components. It is a complete transformational, you can say, policy to align our education system, national education system, with international, and converting our present educational system into more, you can say, where our graduates can become more economically independent and our education becomes more socially relevant also. So with this background, this policy is brought and components of these policies are there. As Ankit has again rightly pointed out, one of the important component which was probably missing in our earlier education system was vocational education development or skills development along with the cognitive development. So in this our session, we will have 2 parts because 3 hour session probably will be too hectic for all the participants. So we will divide it into 2 parts. One part somewhere about 5:30 we will stop, take a break of 5-10 minutes for tea and something. And again, second part we will continue till probably 6:45 and few minutes we will keep for interactive session. In 2 parts also, we will divide our session into generally 3 parts. First, we will try to understand the background of national education policy and why it is important to understand background, because once we understand the background, our future journey of our today's deliberation, why skill development has been given important and how implementation of the policy is to be done at every level, maybe at teachers level, institute level, university level, state government and union government level. This is what we will be understand once we understand the background. Second part will be more about focusing on the key points of the policy which are relevant for the today's component, that is skill development. Then we will go for vocational education, then skilling, then national skill qualification framework, national higher education qualification framework, and life skills which have been made mandatory as a part of total education system. This is how we will go ahead. So let us first understand the background of national education policy. Friends, within few minutes, I will try to correlate the relevance of past on which national education policy got evolved. As I am using the word evolved, let us understand this policy has not come out few months or few, you can say, weeks of discussion. It has got evolved over few decades. In 19, it's not that first time that some education policy is implemented in India. All of us know that right from Macaulay and particularly post-independence, Radhakrishnan Commission, Kothari Commission, Yashpal Commission. So various educational policies were evolved or formulated as per the time and need of that time. So this was the beginning of this policy started even when last policy was formulated. Somewhere in 86, 87, our last education policy was formulated. At international level, one big change has happened in the education sector, and that was Washington Accord. And India also become the signatory of Washington Accord. And accordingly, you will find that 1986 policy was slightly modified in 92 also. What was this Washington Accord about? It was a step towards the globalization of higher education. The concept behind Washington Accord was it was particularly for technical education, more focused on it, that a degree from signatory country, say India was the signatory country, should be at par with any other degree of any other country. So they had given certain benchmarks, certain program outcomes, and it was expected that quality, benchmark, and attributes of any educational institution of the any country in the world should match with other country, particularly American. It was given by American Engineering Association. So this Washington Accord, India was also signatory. It continued up to 92 when second major change happened in India, and it was about acceptance of globalization as a Indian policy, government policy. So globalization, we know it had some GATT agreement. So that time we thought that it is all about trade and industry, but no, education was also service sector, and Washington Accord became operational after 1992. That is why NBA, National Board of Accreditation, and NAC came into existence. Now that was a first change of globalization of Indian education, which you will find in NEP 2020 also. Second change at globally, which was at the onset of 21st century. Around year 2002, Johannesburg Conference took place, and in 2004, Bonn's Declaration came into existence. Now, this Johannesburg Conference and Bonn's Declaration has completely changed the outlook of development. It was found that in whatever technology was developed and implemented in from the century, 18th century, 19th century, this 19th century technology was had become detrimental and very and existence of our earth came into danger. That is why the concept of development was changed to sustainable development. So concept was sustainable development was accepted by all signatory 185 countries of the world, and Bonn's Declaration has given the onus of sustainable development and 17 sustainable development goal achievement on the shoulders of education sector. So sustainable development and achievement of sustainable development was essential ingredient of new education policy. So we can see the footprints of sustainable development goals in the education policy, and they are very much relevant with the skill development and skilling of the youths with reference to equity and access and quality of the education. And third major change which has happened on world level and national level was complete information technology revolution. So all sincere sectors, including finance, banking, even you can say to that extent, the defense also, all become IT enabled. And education was has not taken full advantage in the year somewhere up to 2010, but it became pertinent that to increase gross enrollment ratio, to impart more technical and skill-based education, to reach to the unreached, there is no other way but to take care of IT services. That is why IT also revolution you will find footprints in National Education Policy 2020. So to sum up, This education policy got evolved right from unfinished task of last education policy of 86. In fact, its evolution started in 87 with onset of Washington Accord, 92 with globalization, 2002 with sustainable development, and somewhere 2006, 2007, IT revolution. So it got evolved, and by 2013, draft of this education policy became ready, and in 2020, it was accepted as a policy as a national education policy. So in our skill education also, you will find impact of these things. So as a result, the national education policy is based on 5 foundation pillars. You will find access, equity, affordability. These pillars are based on the concept of sustainable development. Access of education has to be, education should be have must have equity, and it should be affordable. The pillars of sustainability development, SEE, social, economic, and ecological. Out of that, in social, access and equity are important. So we find that footprints of sustainable development, that is Johannesburg Conference and Bonn's Declaration, are the pillars of NEP. Quality is from, you can say, Washington Accord. And fifth component, which is important, is accountability. Accountability has come out because of outcome-based education. Whatever we do in our education system, we, the teacher and major stakeholder, will be accountable for its outcome. So we should understand when we go ahead that evolution of national education policy and foundation pillars of education policy. Now, in this light, we have to see how skill development part also came. Now, this national education policy has got 4 parts. It is a document of say 75, 80 pages, and it is divided in 4 parts. Part 1 is school education, part 2 is higher education, part 3 is other part, and fourth is how will it happen. Out of these 4 parts, for our today's discussion, we will concentrate on part 2, that is higher education, and amongst that also the chapter 11, which is more multidisciplinary education, including you can say vocational education. 14, equity and inclusion is higher education, and 16, reimagining vocational education. So skill development part, you will find, has got a major role in higher education and its implementation as per NEP. Now we have understood the background of NEP, we have understood how it got evolved, we have understood the pillars of NEP, and what are the important aspects in higher education or in 4 parts of this NEP policy document. Now let us go and understand few important policy statements which are relevant for our today's discussion. Two, you can say, points of NEP policy are, in my opinion, very important for we the teacher understand. This policy clearly states what is education and what for education. So if we see NEP, as per NEP, what is education? So education is enabling individual to study one or more specialized areas of interest at deep level. First part, knowledge and information component. Second part is develop character, ethical, constitutional values, intellectual curiosity, scientific temper, creativity. This is the second part of it. So it is affirmative behavioral domain. So which was never under education earlier. Now imparting values, imparting ethics is also a part of education. So it is to be included in our education system. And third important is spirit of service and 21st century capabilities. So this is a skilling component. Now, what is education? Education means three parts. One is information and knowledge. Second is values, ethics, and behavior. And third is service, community engagement, and skilling. So all these wings have to be developed, then and then only it will be known as educated person. So now what is the takeaway from this? Now henceforth, our education means it will have three components. It will have knowledge component, it will have skill component, and it will have behavioral component. This is what we have to understand as per definition of education in NEP. Second thing, what for education? So this is the responsibility given to we the teachers, institution, and university. What is that? What for the education is to be imparted? It must prepare students for three things. Number one, meaningful and satisfying lives. Second is we have to prepare student for work roles where the role of skilling comes. And second, we have to prepare the students to become enable for as economic independence. See, these are all futuristic roles. A student after passing out, whatever job role he will go, whatever work role he or she will perform, we have to prepare that individual when that individual is in college. So we have to understand if a student is from, say, BSc chemistry, we have to understand after obtaining BSc in chemistry degree, what the student will be doing when he enters into job role. So a student may go for post-graduation, may go for research, may go to any quality control laboratory, become chemist, may start his own testing laboratory, may go for inorganic, may go for pharmaceuticals, may go for oil and fat, may go for petroleum. So all the areas of chemistry one has to understand, and we have to prepare the student when the student will enter into any of the job roles, maybe scientist, maybe analyst, maybe supervisor, maybe any of the field of chemistry, that we have to anticipate and prepare. Here the importance of skilling comes into picture. And third is we have to prepare the student to become economically independent. To become economically independent, we must understand what are the areas in present economy and near future economy. And the areas for there is economy, we have to prepare students. Again, here skilling, training, internship, experiential learning, those parts come into picture. So with these two, what is education and what for education, now we will see that our canvas of our educational institution and we as a teachers, our job role is magnified manifold. We have to give education in three domains, and we have to prepare students again for three different domains. So this in totality is the umbrella of with the teacher's job role. Now there are three domains in which we have to understand. One more thing here we have to understand, it is not only domain. Now after implementation of NEP, the education will get converted into level-based and competency-based. So the education will start at the age of 3 up to graduation, age of say 18, and then post-graduation and research. So complete education spectrum is divided not only in domains but also in levels, and as per the level for which we are preparing the student, we have to prepare. Say, for example, the third domain, affective domain, second domain, psychomotor or doing or skilling domain, and first is cognitive, that is knowledge or information domain. So when we are giving education in cognitive domain, one first domain out of three, that is information, thinking, and knowledge, you will find that there are 6 levels of this domain also, and we will be operating in higher education domain. So our knowledge giving assessment will be in higher domain. Say for example, the lowest or level of first domain, that is knowledge domain, is remembering. In schools, we will say that, okay, you recite the poem, you recite the table, you remember something. Probably in school level, we will say that, okay, you recite some Archimedes principle, recite Newton's law. So remembering or recalling the information, recognizing, listing, describing, retrieving, naming, finding, all these activities are essential but are considered to be lowest level of cognitive domain. So what is the takeaway for us? We do not operate in remembering domain. So even though we will be expecting our students to remember and recall information, but that will not be a major part because we are operating in higher level. Second is understanding. In the class, we always ask student, have you understood? Have you understood? And we are expecting students that they should be able to explain idea or concept. That is why we always put a question, interpret, summarize, paraphrase, classify, explain. But this is also essential but not sufficient for higher education. So our level will start minimum from applying. It will go on applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So our syllabus design, our way of teaching, our assessment, evaluation, and examination will be in higher levels, that is applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Accordingly, our syllabus, our teaching pedagogy, and our assessment technique, and our questions in our class test or unit test or university examination should be in accordance with the level in which we are operating. A student of postgraduate or student of final year of graduation must have more questions in the domain of analyzing, evaluating, creating. While, say, for first year domain, which is 4.5 level, it may have some questions of understanding and applying. But remembering related, recalling the information related should be as minimum as possible. So we should understand that now we are not only operating in 3 domains as per the what is the definition of education, but every domain is having different levels. Now coming to psychomotor domain, that is doing or skilling, which is our today's topic, it has got again 7 levels: perception, set, guided response, mechanism, complete overt response, adoption, and organization. Perception, set, and guided response are something like get, set, go. Those are school level doing skilling. So even though they are essential for us, but they are not sufficient. So in perception, the student is, you can say, expected to serve and take the cues from guide and then active perform the activity such as detect, hear, listen, observe, perceive, recognize, see, sense, smell, taste, view. So in school level, we ask what are various colors, what are various shapes. Those are all psychomotor domain, but they are of very, very low, you can say, level. In case of higher education, it will minimum start from guided response. Say, for example, in first year or level 4.5, later on we will see in the laboratories or experimentation, if we are giving, say, workbooks readily prepared, laboratory manuals readily prepared, and we are expecting students to imitate or predict whatever has been told whatever steps have been told and we are expecting to perform the steps already given, that is also a minimum level. So probably if we are giving printed notes or printed lab manuals, in that case, it will come under guided response and it will be the lowest level in our education, higher education system. So for some of the experiments, it may be acceptable, but we have to discontinue that practice. In first year, probably student will master efficiently the practices told by the supervisor. But by the time final year, it will be expected that student really experiment, they don't only practice. So accordingly, this our psychomotor domain or doing skilling domain, we should understand that there are 7 levels and we have to operate again in this domain also at higher levels of guided response minimum and organization. We are creating the new pattern and creating the new solutions for the existing situation or providing solution to the new situation challenges. That is what will be expected in psychomotor domain of higher education system. In feeling, attitude, behavior domain again, there are values. It is based on values, ethics, and behavior. There also there are 5 levels, and from say receiving, responding, valuing, organization, and internalizing. What is expected in higher education is minimum from valuing, organization, and internalization. So sample verbs, for example, adopting, assuming responsibility, behaving according to the situation. So all exhibit loyalty. These are the value systems which have to be imbibed in our student at first year or lower level. While for higher level, that is final year or PG level or PhD level, we have to ensure that student gets attributes of integrating the values into a value system that controls the behavior. So we have to ensure that students are able to act upon, advocate, exemplify, justify the behavior, serve, support. These type of attributes are to be imbibed. That is why community engagement, then fostering social responsibilities, values, ethics have to be done. So in our skilling education also, you will find life skills also come under our skilling. So skilling domain is very important domain when the national education policy is implemented in totality. Now coming to now up to whatever part we have done up till now, let me take just 1 minute feedback or refresh ourselves what we have done. We have understood the background and evolution of national education policy with reference to Washington Accord, with reference to accepting globalization, with reference to Johannesburg Declaration, Bonds Declaration, sustainable development, revolution of IT. So all these steps you will find has resolved and into revolution of our national education policy. That is why national education policy is based on 5 pillars of access, equity, accountability, quality. So these 5 pillars have to be kept in mind while implementing anything. Second part we have seen, the policy clearly states what is education and what for education, and accordingly education will be in 3 domains: cognitive domain, psychomotor domain, that is skilling, doing, training, and behavior domain. And each of the domain will have level-based education. So now education is in various levels and 3 domains. And purpose of education to prepare students for their future job roles, for their meaningful life, and making them economically independent. And to achieve these goals and objectives of policy, only 2 policy statement out of all I have mentioned, and you will find that to implement these 2 things, the second part, that is skilling or you can say, providing psychomotor skills to make them economically independent and future job roles. The skilling domain is most important along with cognitive domain. It takes care of all three domains. So first part, policy talks about vocational education. So NEP in part 2 higher education, point number 16, has very clearly defined what is vocational education and again what for vocational education. The policy states vocational education is integration of all three domains, knowledge, attitude, and skills, but for a particular occupation. Remember, education purpose is to prepare students for their future life, meaningful life, for their job role. So for a particular occupation, we have to prepare students by providing all attributes of all three domains of knowledge, attitude, and skill. But for a chosen particular occupation, then education becomes a vocational education. While the education is a generalized term, vocational education focuses on particular occupation. Suppose we want to prepare a student for, say, software industry. So software industry is the one of the occupation in which we have to prepare for coding. In that case, relevant to the coding occupation, whatever knowledge, attitude, and skills are to be provided, then it becomes a vocational education. Same is true for any other occupation also. Then how vocational education is different from other academic education? Vocational education is in close link with specific practical challenges and work situations in the economy. Friends, what for education? Education was to prepare students for economic independence. To prepare them for economic independence, one has to understand work situations in economy. And as per the work situation in the economy, whatever specific challenges and requirements are there, we have to prepare our student to solve those specific problems, those particular occupations by linking knowledge, skills, and attitude. So this is how vocational education is differentiating from academic education. And important role for we the teacher, educational institution, and university will be to integrate this vocational education into our regular academic education. That is why we have to very clearly understand and find out the ways. Already many instruments are made available regarding integration of vocational education into mainstream education. So objective of giving vocational will be students should be able to acquire defined a set of practical competencies in specific areas of work of economy. So what is the takeaway for we the teachers or today's who are attending it? That we have to first study and find out what are the various areas of work in our economy, what are the challenges, which areas in which our students will be going, and we have to give them a defined set of competencies, knowledge, attitude, and skill, which are relevant to that particular area of economy and particular occupation. This NEP very clearly talks about why. See, there are two things always NEP will talk: what and why. What is education? Why education? What is vocational education? Why vocational education? So, very important argument, very strong reasoning for integrating vocational education into mainstream education and revamping, reimagining vocational education is, it is found that all, you can say, developed countries, let it be USA, Germany, South Korea, their vocational education seekers percentage is very high. And vocational education and development, they are closely linked. In India, it is less than 5%. So when we aim to become a developed country by 2047. It yes, Rajkumar sir. Any doubt?
Yes, sir. You are told in Germany, USA, South Korea, there the industrial development is more, sir. More than 60% development of industries are available. But in India, only 20 to 25% industrial sectors are there. Due
Sir,
to that,
that
vocational education, is it possible in India?
yes, sir. Sir, what NEP has very rightly pointed out that development is closely related with the doing capacity of the youngsters. I will give you one example why vocational education is important, why they are providing and why they are starting right from schools. During COVID, I will give you two examples of engineers practicing engineer. One is automobile engineer. He called us and asked if we know any mechanic, automobile mechanic nearby, because his car is not getting started. All garages are closed. He is an automobile engineer and he is expecting that somebody from garage should come and help him to start the car. Second thing, electrical engineer calls and expects some electrician to come and repair some minor fault of washing machine or refrigerator in or his house. We know that most of the qualified people, they are not able to even repair the small appliances, kitchen appliances or household appliances or machines in the form of our cars or pumps or anything. And this is a small example which shows that we are very good in knowledge and information domain, but we are not at par as per requirement, as far as applying that knowledge or doing the things by hands is concerned. And this is one of the reasons that our gross enrollment ratio is too low, around 30%, means 100 students pass from 12th, and out of those 100, only 30 joined higher education. And they have studied. Now, this is from the NEP report that if doing skilling is not provided to our students, they may be knowing the thing, but they will fail to apply their knowledge. That is why, along with academic education, hands-on education, vocational education is required. And I fully endorse the view of NEP in this respect. That is why they are planning to start vocational education right from school. The student now in school education will be 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So from 6 to 12, every student will be required to have some hands-on experience as per the choice or passion. It may be small farming, it may be small repairing, but every student will be provided. And very clearly, as you have said, industrial development and vocational education seekers, as you are rightly pointed out, developed countries are still industrialized countries. More than 60% are, you can say, industrial development is there. One of the reasons why they are industrialized, because their human resource is technically skilled to operate, to do the things. We people are more on knowledge domain. We can, whatever is made ready, we can implement it, but we cannot do the things with our own hands if something has to be done. This is the observation of NEP committee, and that is why they say that vocational education component has to be integrated. Vocation doesn't mean only engine or electrician or welding. Even for, say, suppose a student of humanities, he does not have experiential learning. So when a commerce student goes to the banking people say your graduate is not as useful as we were expecting being a graduate. We have to make him learn how to do things in the banking. When our engineer goes to industry, the industry bodies associations always say that your fresh engineers are not directly employable for us. We have to provide them training for 1 year or so, and then only they become employable or useful for us. So this gap is to be filled by with the academic institution HEI. That is why vocational education will become the integral part of our regular education. Is it okay, sir? Rajkumar, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, thank you, sir. Let us have this type of interaction in between. Thank you very much. Now, one more thing. It is found out by Dr. Kasturi Rangan sir's committee that regarding vocational education, there is taboo as far as social status is concerned. The parents and society, when sending the students to various streams, they consider if a student is considered to be intelligent, they say go for science. Not so, go for commerce. Then slow, go for say humanities. And if they consider the student useless, then they say that go for MCVC like course, go for ITI like courses. So it is found that this is highly detrimental to not only to education system but economy also, as well as to the nation also. So this social status hierarchy must be overcome, and vocational education should be considered at par with any other education. This is what is one of the vision of NEP policy. Second, the policy statement says vocational education must be integrated with mainstream education in all educational institutions in phased manner. Important word is all. Then it will be integrated right from school to higher education institution in phased manner, and timeline given is 1 decade. And for all schools, vocational education, at least one vocation must from grade 9 to 12. They are planning to implement from right from 6 in a small way. And skill labs have to be set up in schools in spoke and hub and spoke model, and that will be made available to all schools. This is how the vocational education will be integrated into mainstream, and the social status will be brought at par, and students will be prepared not only for academic domain, that is knowledge domain, but they will be equally equipped in psychomotor domain also. Now for our HEI, all HEIs will offer vocational courses, and it will be integrated into undergraduate education program with course content that combines adequate hands-on experience with the requisite theoretical background delivered within a general education setting. So this tells us in future our curriculum, our teaching learning scheme will have essentially the experiential learning and vocational education skill enhancement courses, skill enhancement module along with our general education module. Let it be humanities, let it be commerce, let it be science, let it you or interdisciplinary faculty. Every program will have experiential learning and skill-based learning and skill enhancement courses in their program. And how to offer their mechanism also is given, that HES will offer this vocational education on their own or in partnership with industry or in partnership with NGO. Possibility of offering vocational courses on online digital learning platform also is permitted. So technology revolution is also taken care, and vocational, that is skilling education, will be important part of our education. This is the policy document, and focus will be based on the skill gap analysis and mapping of local opportunities. What does this mean? It means that continually vocational education component will be modified as the need changes. This vocational education component part will change. See, now our education will have minimum two components as we have learned up till now. One will be general education component or academic education component for which we are expertise, giving knowledge and information. We are very much matured enough for academic stream education. We are very much expertise. That will be called as general education component or academic education component. Along with that, there will be small but important and essential component, which will be skill education component or vocational education component. General education component syllabus may not change for some years together, but probably vocational education component may change every 3 months or 6 months also. It will get changed based on skill gap analysis and mapping of local opportunity. Friends, this skill gap analysis and mapping of local opportunities, that for that a separate mechanism is already developed. They have already started doing that job. Their reports are made available to UGC, and according to these reports, UGC is continually recommending which type of skill courses should be given in the HEIS to the student. And that list of that courses will change every year depending upon the market demands, what type of skill is demanded in the market. So this is something new and we have to adopt when NEP will be implemented in totality. Now, as I was saying, UGC is already doing that job. So recently, UGC has given a report regarding immediate for coming 3 years, what type of skills are required by market. See, whatever now I will be stating it is from UGC report. So we have to believe it. What are the present needs? First statement says over next 3 years, 85 million jobs will be lost. So what is the takeaway for us? Our students will be passing out in coming 3 years. But if we are providing same outdated, out of market skills and knowledge to the student, they may not find any job because of the IT revolution and more so because of artificial intelligence. Worldwide, 85 million old jobs will not be there. But very positive statement is 97 million new jobs will be created. So there is very ironical situation in the economy. People with old skill sets will lose the job while there is a great void of young people or people with required skill sets. The UGC report says that 9 of the 10 leaders report that they either already have skill gaps and anticipate having them during next 5 years, causing a shortage of competent talent. So this is what is the takeaway for we HEIs, that what type of shortage is there, what type of skill gaps are there. Now these are already given, we don't have to search. Already statutory bodies like UGC or TIFAC, they have already forecasted what type of skills are required and those skills will be given. And they have also provided the mechanism of providing the skills. So we have to be alert on these reports of UGC or TIFAC, and wherever they are already provided from where you can provide the skill. So we have to act as a gap between skill provider and our student, and we have to ensure that those skills which are required, those should be given rather than outdated skills. The demand for skilled labor is driven by BFSI sector, pharmaceutical sector, e-commerce sector, ITS sectors. So it is mentioned in the report that freshers will, in this field, their demand will increase by 20%. So what is the takeaway? we have to provide skills in these identified areas, and these areas we will have to change as and when such reports will come. This policy says that now we HEIs will be allowed to conduct short-term certificate courses in various skills, including soft skills. So it is not that only university prescribed curriculum, only and only that part is to be given. Every institution can identify the courses from UGC report or TIPAC report or NASCOM report or Sector Skill Council's report, and providing such courses will be considered as a vocational education component. Marks will be allowed, credits will be allowed even for such short-term certificate courses, and these courses can be in any stream. The policy says they should be of at least 12 credits and maximum 30 credits. So that is why in our NEP oriented syllabus, you will find that skill enhancement courses, 12 credits are permitted or made mandatory, which institute have to provide and students have to earn. And we know that credit means 15 hours per week of theory and 30 hours of skill training per week. That is 2 hours per week. So 1 hour per week will be 1 credit, and 2 hours per week will also be 1 credit if it is practical or skill. And if for theory, it will be 1 hour per week. We will go into this credit when we will go to national credit framework. But here takeaway is NEP provides us to permission to conduct short-term credit courses, and UGC provides us what type of courses we should take from time to time. Now they have to be provided in partnership with industry or employer. Now skill gap analysis is important part of providing skill-based courses or vocational education component courses. Now, this skill gap analysis is done anticipating the job market trend and identifying the learning opportunities. Jobs that existed 10 years ago are now becoming outdated due to increased automation. This is UGC report. And jobs that are present today are bound to get modified or replaced completely with a better alternative. Thus, anticipating marketing trend and identifying the skills needed becomes the need of hour. Probably this job is continually done by various central and state agencies. So probably for our local economy, we may have to do identifying the gap and giving the training. But on national level, the skill analysis, gap analysis, and provision for same is given done by UGC and other agencies. There is the process given on how to develop the
enhancing digital know-how to be future ready, facilitate training, reskilling and upskilling.
So providing
room to learn from experienced professionals.
The skill development curriculum, the steps are also provided in UGC or any NEP document. It should be engaging and updated. It should have requirement of making students future ready with digital know-how. Facilitating, we will be the more of a facilitator. Training, reskilling and upskilling. So tomorrow's mantra, what is said is that unlearn, relearn and lifelong learn. So probably earlier, unlearn we had never heard, but now the demand is whatever is outdated, we should be able to even unlearn and relearning and self-learning. So as per NEP, one of the important job of teacher is making students learn how to learn. This is what is expected, and experienced professional should be, there should be room. We should provide the room to learn from experienced professional. So this is the framework under which the skill courses have to be developed. Now, UGC guideline states one more important step. Who can undergo these skill-based courses in our HEI? Anyone. So it did not be your own enrolled student. Others also can come and join these courses. Anyone who has passed 10+2 or senior secondary examination or its equivalent. Now, word equivalent is related with RPL, that is recognition of prior learning. Even a school dropout, but who has appeared for certain tests by competent authority, has proven that he has achieved the level of 4, can join course in HEI. Ours is now level-based education. Up level 4 is up to school. Above level 4, higher education, college education, university education starts. So who can come and join these short-term skill courses, vocational courses in our colleges? Anybody who is either 12 pass or as per RPL recognition of prior learning, who has attained the level of 4, can take admission. That is, you will be eligible to take admission in any undergraduate program, can pursue credit-linked short-term skill development certificate courses of 3 months to 6 months duration in HEI. So this is the UGC guideline. So our canvas for skill courses is open. Now, presently, in this present document, UGC has identified certain focus areas for short-term courses. Now, it is based on skill gap analysis. It is based on the market demand. What type of skills are required in the student in coming 3 years to grab those 90 million new jobs likely to come in the market. So artificial intelligence, robotics, cloud computing, cyber security, 5G connectivity, architectural drafting, 3D design, electronics, mobile communication, repairing, digital marketing, courses on search engine optimization, social media marketing, content marketing, e-commerce, fintech, digital payment, blockchain, digital currency, financial regulation, basics of startup, entrepreneurship. Such type of courses UGC have already identified, and after skill-based analysis and various agencies worldwide, even nationally, they are continually monitoring the job market, supply-demand market, skill requirements, skill gap analysis, and on the basis of those reports, UGC, AICT come out with the requirement of skill-based courses. Presently, UGC has identified some focus areas. Out of those, few I am putting for everybody's, you can say, awareness. So what is the takeaway? Takeaway is now vocational education will be integrated in main skill. So skill enhancement courses will be there along with 3 months, 6 months short-term skilling courses will be there. Those skilling courses will be continually updated, and how to design which type of courses we should adopt, take clue from UGC's time to time, you can say guidelines. Present guidelines talks about this type of courses. Yes, Deshpande sir, please. Yes, sir. I think
Sir,
Deshpande
hello.
madam.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I wanted to know about the levels. You said that who has reached level 4 can take admission in our courses.
Yes.
But there are certain courses now in the Skill India schemes which are of level 3.
No, ma'am, I will come to that level based soon after few minutes. But just to answer your query, now whole education will be divided into level based as per National Skill Qualification Framework. The levels will be from level 1 to 10. Level 1 to 4 are school level, and from 5 to 10 are certificate, diploma, degree, postgraduate degree, and PhD level. So
Yes.
for higher education institution, the entry will be 10+2 or equivalent or recognized level 4 for taking courses in higher education. As per National Higher Education Qualification Framework, NHEQF, levels are from level 1 to 8. Again, level 2, 1 to 4 will be for school. 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, like up to 8 will be certificate, diploma, degree, postgraduate, and research. Again, for entry into the courses of higher education level, either 10+2 or means it will not be 10+2 anymore. It will be 8+4, 5+3+3+4. So 3 last plus 4 or recognized prior level of minimum level 4. Those our courses selected will also be of level 4 and above. And suppose as a prerequisite we want to learn certain course of level 3, it can be given as prerequisite. But our courses will be also level 4 plus, and students getting admitted into skill courses should also have attained the minimum level 4. This is the requirement for we higher educational institutions.
Sir, so if we choose some courses like which are of level 3 and students are interested in doing that, so they won't be getting the credits for that?
No, they will be call it as a prerequisite. Suppose there is some course, you can say commerce student wants to take certain course related to science or computer, and some fundamental requirement is there. So you can include it in that curriculum package, some of the courses, but don't concentrate more on 3. We can definitely include it. Student will definitely get the credit for, because it is not one course, it is a curriculum package. So in that package, one of the courses, few of the courses can be of lower level also, but don't take of very, very low level.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I am really thankful to you for some interactive. Now we have understood what is, say, in general NEP, then we have understood vocational education. We have understood skilling courses. There is difference between vocational education courses and skilling courses. Skilling courses are short-term courses, 3 months, 6 months duration, while vocational education component will be our complete part of syllabus, general education component and skill education component. So skill education courses will be vocational education component, while during the study of 3 years, 4 years courses undergraduate program, 3 months, 6 months courses which we will offer, they will be skilling courses. We have understood how to select skilling courses from skill gap analysis, market demand, how to design those courses. So 4 points are given. Based on that, those should be, you can say, designed, and who can take undergo those courses and how much maximum credits we can expect. So skilling courses also we have understood. Now let us go for qualification frameworks or some framework. Let us, friend, understand NEP, you can say, attempts to globalize the localized education. What does it mean? Our journey is from local education to national education. The program, qualification, degree of any institution, any university, let it be autonomous college or deemed university or state or central university located in any part of the country, it should be equivalent to similar level degree of any university in any part of the country. Giving more example, Amravati University degree or any course of some village college in Amravati University, it should be at par equivalent with degree of Delhi University or Srinagar University or Mumbai Pune University or Calcutta University. They should be equivalent. To bring that equivalency, because as per Academic Bank of Credit and NEP policy, interportability, flexibility is important feature of NEP. So student theoretically is permitted to migrate and take education from wherever the student wishes and is, you can say, advisable or permissible for that student. So bring this equivalency to bring everything at par nationally first, and it has to be aligned with internationally. So it is a progress from local to national and national to international global. For that, if making the things equivalent, we have to everybody, it is mandatory for every institution in the country to operate under certain frameworks. So these are the guiding frameworks under which every university will design syllabus, every institution will impart education, and every university will give the degree. That is how the equivalency comes. So from that angle, it is necessary for all of us to understand the framework under which NEP will be implemented, and all of us will be operating under framework. No institution, no individual, no, you can say university can bypass this framework. Everybody will be under framework. That is how equivalency works up. Out of various frameworks, three important frameworks I will like to discuss in short in this session. First is qualification framework, in which they have defined qualification levels and descriptors. Second is credit framework, national credit framework. It is all national. And third is LOCF, learning outcome based curriculum framework. Everybody will be operating under this framework. So we should understand what are those frameworks. Now, friends, these frameworks you will find they are aligned with international framework also. So let us understand what this qualification framework talks about. In case of qualification framework, national qualification framework is designed and it is already made open for all of stakeholders to use it. Remember, friends, when this NEP, which is of 78-80 pages document, is accepted and publicized, simultaneously, instruments of implementations also were started getting ready. And whatever is mentioned in now NEP, except for how it will happen for their some national higher regularity authority, etc., union government level, certain more instruments and more laws will come. We will not go into it, but whatever is required by the teacher, by the institution, and by the industry, by the university, those instruments are ready. So when we read NEP, we have to simultaneously refer the instrument while we implement the provisions of policy. So what are those instruments? First instrument is National Qualification Framework in that instrument. Friends, the instruments talks right from defining qualification. So qualifications is very clearly defined and defined in depth. Number of pages are devoted for explaining and defining the term qualification. Some of the points only I am taking. Traditional sense, we mean that qualification is someone has successfully completed a prescribed program of study or training offered by educational institution. That is our traditional sense of guessing what do we mean by qualification. But so they are formal awards like certificate, diploma, bachelor, master, and doctoral degree. Now, as per the instrument of NEP qualification framework, qualification will be awards by competent authority such as college or university. Now, word is very important. It will be the some awards of competent authority and what recognition of attainment of student of the expected learning outcome on successful completion of particular program. See, The important word is there should be particular program of study. There should be certain duration of that program, and there should be well-defined expected learning outcome. In the whole policy, you won't find the word teaching. Everywhere you will find, mostly you will find the word learning. See, now three words are important for us to go before that. It should be a particular program of study. It should have definite duration, hours of learning, what we call, and there should be well-defined expected learning outcome. And fourth and most important is attainment of that outcome by certain competent authority. So assessment is important, attainment, measurable attainment is important, mentioning what are the learning outcome are important, duration is important, and the very clear specification of program should be clear. Friends, we know that learning outcome will based on three domains: knowledge domain, skill domain, behavior domain, and it will depend on levels. So when we talk about expected learning outcome, those outcome will be on three domains and various higher levels. And once attainment is assured, then only some award will be given, and that then only it will be called as qualification. So this is how the concept of qualification will be there, and they are to be awarded only after assessment and evaluation of learning levels. So friend, when we will design even our first year course or first year syllabus or second year course or syllabus, we have to ensure of what learning level we are talking. And when we say that student has passed certain thing, learning outcome, its measurement, its assessment and evaluation is necessary before giving credit or certification for that. This is what the definition of qualification means. And each qualification is aligned to credit system. Now that credit system will be based on attainment of defined learning outcome and academic workload of student, that is learning hours of a chosen program, and it should signify the competency of the student for a given occupational practice. See, now even though it sounds some words, but meaning is very deep. When we will design any course, let it be skill, let it be vocational, let it be, you can say, academic course, we have to ensure completion will give competence for certain occupational practice. So vocational competency has to be proved, and learning outcomes should be there, and learning hours have to be very clearly defined. Now, after very clearly defining and making us understood what qualification means, second is qualification framework. Now, what is qualification framework? It is a way of structuring existing and new qualifications, which are defined by learning outcome, reflecting graduate attributes, learning outcomes, course learning outcome. That is, certain statements what learner is expected to know. So what is the takeaway for us? Every course, every training program, we have to give certain statements that after undergoing this program or learning this course, student will be able to have these attributes. Those attributes will be three areas. One will be knowledge area, second will be skill area, and third will be on behavioral area, and they will also be based on level. So whether it is lower levels, level 4.5 course or 5 level course or 6.5 level course, depending upon level, the statement will change. And for each level and for each course, we will have to prepare statement. And in assessment, we have to ensure attainment of those attributes. Then only qualification or certification will be done. And those certification will be structured from lower to higher, that is called as qualification framework. Say for example, qualification specifications are general statements of the typical achievement of learners who have been awarded a qualification on successful completion of a program leading to award of qualification such as certificate, diploma, bachelor degree, master's degree, and doctoral degree. So structuring of these awards means qualification framework. And qualification framework is competency-based education and training and outcome-based learning. These are the important aspects of qualification framework. Now, competency-based education and training is integral component of qualification framework. That is where our today's topic of skilling or vocational education fits into. So remember, friend, irrespective of what qualification student is undergoing, the competency-based education and training will be integral component of that. Let it be certificate, let it be diploma, let it be degree, let it be postgraduate, of every level. Competency-based education and training, psychomotor domain will be the integral part in this qualification framework. As I repeat, it is to be implemented uniformly throughout the country, irrespective of which institution the student belongs to. So another line is knowledge, skill, value, and attitude acquired by the individual are more important than mode of acquiring them. This is a very clear. So mode can be formal, informal, non-formal, online, offline. So what mode student is learning is not more important, but the attributes acquired by individual will be more important. This is a very clear statement of NEP and its instrument as far as qualification framework is concerned. Now, national qualification, as I was telling, it is the national level instrument for classification of qualifications according to a set of criteria for specified level of learning achieved, which would integrate and coordinate the qualification from each education and training sector into a single comprehensive qualification framework. So this national qualification framework is a standardization tool wherein, depending upon the level, the criteria will be given, and they are already given. We, all of us, must know those set of criteria given by NQF, as they are mandatory for each and every institute, irrespective of wherever it is located, and it is for international comparison also. So it is a process of globalization from local to national, national to global. Now, since this Indian or national qualification framework is aligned with international qualification framework, for few minutes, let us also understand what this international qualification framework is adopted by our country and making it globally. Now, the India has adopted Bologna process or Dublin descriptor. Now, this Bologna process is European higher educational area. They have developed NQF, National Qualification Framework, for their European Union countries. And it is considered to be more acceptable, more standardized. That is why our national qualification framework is aligned with European national qualification framework. And their descriptors for each level, description is given, statements are given, what is expected learning outcomes are given, and those descriptors in case of Bologna process or European Union, they call it as Dublin descriptors. So India has also accepted certain qualification descriptors. They are similar to Dublin. So let us quickly review what are those descriptors, Dublin descriptors. They are general statement about learning outcome expected to be achieved by students after completing a curriculum of studies for obtaining the qualification. So same philosophy. Now these Dublin descriptors have 5 elements. Indian qualification descriptors, let it be NSQF or NHEQF, they also have 5 descriptors, 5 elements. What are those 5 descriptors or elements? Knowledge, understanding. So knowledge domain, applying knowledge and understanding, skill domain, making judgment, behavioral domain, communication skill, again skill domain, and learning skills, lifelong learning skills. So on these 5 domains, the European qualification framework is based. Now, similar to that, in align with international scenario, this India has also accepted this Dublin descriptor. What do they say? When the qualification will be awarded, when the student have demonstrated knowledge and understanding in a field of study that build upon their general secondary education, what we call it as 12, and typically at a level. So level-based demonstration is expected, supported by advanced textbooks. It should include some aspect regarding knowledge of forefront in their field of study. So this is the first descriptor regarding knowledge. Regarding description or what they should able, students should be able to demonstrate is about skill, that is apply their knowledge and understand in a manner that indicates a professional approach to their work or vocation. See, what a student is expected to do in their job roles. Say after passing, after 2-3 years, whatever student is expected to perform in their job role, we have to prepare for them, and students should demonstrate that the student has professional approach towards their work or vocation, which they are likely to perform after few years. And they have competencies typically demonstrated through devising and sustaining argument, solving problems within their field of study. So we have to ensure that student will demonstrate this also. Third is they should have ability to gather and interpret relevant data and make informed judgment, which will have reflection on social, scientific, ethical issues. They should be able to communicate information, idea, problem, solution to both specialists and non-specialists. So we have to ensure communication skill is there with the student, and that they have developed learning skill so that lifelong they can learn on their own, that is with high degree of autonomy. So these are the 5 descriptors, Dublin descriptors. India also has developed its national qualification framework in alignment with international qualification framework. India has developed NQF for various streams, vocational, for vocational education, skill, as well as higher education. For our today's discussion, we will only discuss about NSQF and NHEQF. So I think since it is 5:30, we will take a small break of 5-10 minutes. So let me just quickly look through what we have done. We have understood evolution of NEP, the impact or footprints of Washington Accord, sustainability development, that is Bonn's Declaration, and IT revolution on national education policy. We have seen national education policy clearly defines what is education. In that, they have expected 3 domains, means education, knowledge, skill, behavior, and in each domain, levels are there. And for higher education, higher levels are expected. So we have to operate in higher levels of 3 domains. Second question, what for education? Prepare students for meaningful life, prepare students for future job roles, prepare students to bring competency for economic independence. So these are the 3 clear mandates given. Responsibility, accountability on we, teachers, HEIs, and university. Now for that, we have concentrated on second domain, that is psychomotor domain, skill domain, we have understood how vocational education have been defined. Need is expressed, why vocational education is given, how will it be integrated, what are the mechanisms, and accordingly, the verticals of NEP education for higher education includes skill enhancement courses and vocational education component as integral part of our regular general education component. After vocational education component, there is one more scope for giving skilling, that is skill education of short-term duration skilling courses, continually to be modified, make their content as per supply demand need, do skill gap analysis, refer to the reports, whatever guidelines UGC and other authorities provide, accordingly plan 3 months, 6 months course. That will be also integral part of our education. And then we have understood qualification framework. Now, in qualification framework, we have understood what is qualification, what is qualification framework, what are international qualification framework, what are qualification descriptors, what are elements of those descriptors, and according to international qualification framework and Dublin descriptors, what is our Indian qualification framework. Out of that, NSQF, National Skill Qualification Framework, and NHEQF we will be discussing and going for life skills. So I think here for 5-10 minutes we should stop and we will continue. Ankit, am I right? Should we take a break of 10 minutes, friends? Deshpande ma'am?
Sir, yes. Yes, sure, sure.
So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. We will join again after 10 minutes. Thank you.
Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes,
sound
sir.
is
Yes,
not
sir.
there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
We cannot listen anything.
Audible, sir.
सर आवाज नाही येत आपला.
There is a break of 10 minutes. That's why.
Yes, sir. Only now 5 minutes are remaining. So within 5 minutes we will start. Is it okay? Is it okay if we start within 5 minutes?
Yes, okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No
Yes.
problem.
Because see, 3 hours becomes too hectic for even listener also. I can understand it. So we should provide some relief 5-10 minutes in.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Friends, should we start?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So thank you for being with me for first part of our session. As we were discussing, we have understood what are various qualification framework, what were the international qualification framework, Bologna process or Dublin parameters. The takeaway from qualification framework, you can say our discussion is there will be the statements for each level for which any qualification is given. And those statements will describe what is expected learning outcome from that student for a particular level qualification. And Dublin parameters are based on 5 types of elements on which the qualification, the attainment of those statements on 5 parts will be confirmed, then only qualifications are issued or awards awarded. Say, for example, in case of Dublin, they are based on knowledge, skill, and those other 5 parameters: learning skill, lifelong learning skill, communication skill. So, in alignment with international qualification descriptors, India has also evolved national qualification frameworks and various for vocational education, for vocational training, various for each type of, you can say, vocation, profession, training, and education. The qualification framework is evolved, and before NEP was implemented, national skill qualification was already made ready in association with International Labour Organization and international national associations, industrial and, you can say, economic, you can say, domain, those who are operators of economic domain. In association with those people and International Labour Organization, national skills qualification framework was ready even before our national education policy was adopted and started implementing. So what does this policy statement or NEP vision statement says? It states that this national skill qualification framework will be detailed further for each discipline of vocation and profession. That is the vision statement of NEP. Second, Indian standards will be aligned with international standard classification of occupations maintained by International Labour Organization, and this will be the basis, or this will be the framework for recognition of prior learning. As Madam was asking, levels. So this internationally benchmark, adopted and accepted levels, on that basis only recognition of prior learning in our nation will also be done, and accordingly dropouts from formal system will be reintegrated by their aligning their practical experience with relevant level of framework, and this credit-based framework will facilitate mobility across general and vocational education component. So this is the vision statement of NEP. You will find NSQF is the fundamental document for NHEQF and implementation of all systems as per NEP. So we should understand some part of what this NSQF is all about. So let us see what NSQF is all about. So there are few keywords which we must understand before understanding this national skill qualification framework. I repeat, skill, any qualification framework, let it be higher education qualification framework, or let it be skill qualification framework, let it be vocational education qualification framework. Qualification framework will have two components. One will be qualifications. That means learning outcomes, duration, attainments, assessment, levels. So as per levels, qualification descriptors. So level, qualification, qualification description. These are essential elements of any qualification framework. So once we again recapitulate what is qualification framework, now we are just in short discussing national skills qualification framework. The terminologies, we should be clear. Now, some definitions given by NSQF say skill means ability to apply knowledge and use know-how to complete the task and solve the problem. Problem solving is the skill. Completing the task is the skill. Applying knowledge and using knowledge or know-how is the skill. So this is the concept of skill when we talk about skill education. Now, skill education can be cognitive, such as use of logical, intuitive, and creative thinking, or practical, manual dexterity, rotomotor skills, using of methods, materials, tools, and instruments. So this is the concept of skill when we talk about NSQF or when we talk about NEP. Now, qualification we have already seen, and recognition of prior learning, which is important ingredient, is the process of recognizing previous learning, experiential mainly, towards gaining a certain qualification. So not necessary that student have come only through formal mode of learning. Even informal and non-formal experiential learning will also make that student to get recognition for a particular level as recognition of prior learning. Important definition, which maybe for some of us may be new, for many of us now by this time they may be knowing also. But important term in case of school education is NOS, that is National Occupational Standard. So NOSES, qualification pack and curriculum pack, these three terminologies are relevant and important for skill education, vocational education. What do we mean by NOS? NOS is some measurable performance outcome required from an individual engaged in a particular task. Say, for example, I am talking about a receptionist in 5-star hotel. So that is the job role. Receptionist of 5-star hotel is a job role. Now that sector skill council, wherein hospitality industry is involved, they have come out with all details of what an individual is expected to do in the job role of, say, receptionist, and detailing of all tasks, what that candidate is expected to know and should be able to do is called as NOS. Now you mention housekeeping. Very simple example I will take. If you go to the sector skill council, where housekeeping, you will find a job profile. Housekeeping manager, housekeeping worker, housekeeping, you can say maintenance manager, any whatever job role is prescribed in that sector of economy relevant to that job role, you will find complete description of the task expected from a person occupying that position. And that compilation of all tasks together is called as NOS. So these standards are the benchmark for various education and training programs and recruitment range of HRM practices. So what HRM or human resource management practices they expect while recruitment, they are specified, and those are the benchmark for we people to give skilling education or vocational education for that sector of our economy. So we must be very clear about the word NOS. Second important word is qualification pack. Now each job role may require performance of number of tasks. Say for example, clerk in bank. The job role of a clerk in job may be at the desk where customer, he will be dealing with the customer, maybe with the accounts department, maybe with inward section, maybe with customer management section. There will be various roles which even a clerk, junior clerk, senior clerk or bank manager will be required to work on various fronts. So all these fronts, combination of NOSes for all those different fronts or different tasks, they form together and called as qualification pack for that job role. So for a given job role, two terminologies we should be clear. One, what are the NOSes for that job role, and what is the qualification pack for job role? And when we say I am preparing the students for future job role, so in my vocational program, skill enhancement program, skilling program, skill enhancement courses, I have to keep that job role in my mind. If I am a student of chemistry, I may go for various job roles in various sectors, pharmaceutical sector, polymer industry sector, paint industry sector, petroleum sector. So in those various sectors, various job roles will be there. So I will have to identify mapping job role for my institution, for my student, and I should identify NOSes and qualification pack which are relevant for my institution and for my student, and I should arrange for skill programs, or you can say skill education component of our total program according to the NOSES, or they will be our syllabus in fact or curriculum for skilling courses. So NOSES and QPs, each job are corresponding to the level. So there are jobs like junior level, middle level, senior level, top level. So depending upon that, those job roles, our level, certificate level, so certificate level people will be employed at certain level in their job. Diploma level may be supervisor, degree level may be something managerial level. So depending upon the job role, we will have to map our qualification, and according to the qualification, we will have to choose NOSES and QP. This exercise is already done by National Skill Development Council, Sector Skill Council. So if we refer to their documents, you will find levels are also given, jobs that is NOSES are given, qualification packs are given. Also, UGC also from time to time issues what type of courses. Sometimes even contents are also given. So we will have to be alert in having information about all these things with us. Then we have to design our courses. So curriculum pack is competency based. It will consist of syllabus, student manual, trainer guide, training manual, trainer's qualification, assessment, testing guideline, multimedia packages, e-material, all these together, they call it as curriculum package. We should be aware of the sector and sector skill council. So sector means a group on the basis of their main economic function, product, service, or technology. Say, for example, IT, ITES, all software, hardware related operations in our economy, you will find including, you can say electronics, communication, they all come under IT and ITES sector. If we take all tourism, hospitality, you will find sector. Recreation, you will find sector. Physical education related, you will find a sector. 36 sectors are identified up till now, and all economic, you can say activities, let it be product, let it be service, let it be technology, any economic function, you will find it is classified under certain sector. And those sectors are in alignment with international qualification, in consultation with international association, including International Labour Organization. I repeat, national education policy is journey from localization to globalization. It is a process of standardization, benchmarking, and making equivalency between various qualifications, various trainers, various educational institutions, first of our country and then of the globe. So you will find that is also reflected in national, you can say skill qualification framework also. Now these sector skill councils are industry-led national partnership organizations that will bring together all stakeholders. Presently, 36 sector skill councils, this National Skill Development Council has taken, and those councils, I am showing you the various councils, Healthcare Skill Council, Indian Plumbing Skill Council, Iron and Steel Council, Infrastructure Skill, Life Sciences, Management Entrepreneurship, Logistics, Aerospace, Beauty and Wellness, BFSI. BFSI is blooming big in India. So our, you can say BA, BCom, BSc graduates can find good scope in BFSI and IT, ITES. So such type of 36 councils are there. The takeaway for this slide is all of us should be aware of National Skill Development Council and Sector Skill Council. the job roles given, NOSES, qualification packs, and curriculum packs. And with understanding of this terminology and this various NSDC, SSC, etc., we should be able to design curriculum for skill development courses or skilling courses in alignment with the job roles, and we can prepare our students for their future job roles. Now, once we have understood the fundamental terminologies which are used in National Skills Qualification Framework, let us understand the levels. I repeat, complete education is switching over towards competency-based and level-based education. So NSQF also organizes various qualifications according to the levels of knowledge, skill, and aptitude. Friends, the domains are same: knowledge, skills, and aptitude, and depending upon the levels required, qualifications are given and they are structured. That is done in
संतोष
NSQF.
कुलकर्णी सरांनी आपला माईक बंद करावा. माईक म्यूट करावा संतोष कुलकर्णी सर.
Sir, please mute your mic. Really, thank you, Gulaji sir. So this framework represents increasing levels of complexity in terms of knowledge, competency, and autonomy that must be demonstrated by learner. So this clearly gives us the three domains in which the competency will be measured. One domain will be knowledge, second will be competency, third will be autonomy. And it has to be demonstrated, attainment is to be demonstrated according to the level or complexity to which the competency is achieved. The certification like certificate, diploma, degree, or postgraduate degree will be given. This is the qualification framework, and each level will be given with descriptor. So what is expected from that level, that will also be given. So these levels, NSQF levels, are composed of 10 levels, and each represent a different level of complexity and competency commensurating with that level. Level 1 is the lowest complexity. So generally 1 to 4 hour school, while level 10 represents the highest, that is PhD. The levels are, this is important, friend, because we will have to do it when we design our syllabus or we implement it. Level has to be defined by criteria expressed in terms of learning outcomes, volume of learning denoting notional time taken to acquire qualification. See, so learning outcomes, those statements are important, and time, duration to acquire qualification is important, and accordingly NSQF has given the levels and the duration also. Now each level will be associated with set of descriptors. Since we have understood already Dublin description, it is exactly similar to that, only slightly different parameter. So these are the parameters made up of 5 outcome statements, which describe the minimum knowledge, skill, and attributes that learner needs to acquire and to demonstrate that I have acquired it to be certified for that level. So 2 things are important over each level. The outcomes, 5 outcomes for each level has to be you can say given. It is to be ensured that according to the level, expected learning outcomes are given and their complexity is given. Obviously, lower the level, lower will be the learning expected outcome and lower will be the complexity. Same domain, as we go into higher level, expected learning outcome and complexity will increase. And we have assessment is very important part of qualification. It is to be ensured that for each level on these parameters students have acquired, then and then only qualification will be issued. Now these NSQF statement learning outcomes again are on 5 domains known as level descriptors, similar to Dublin, And here, those domains are process, professional knowledge, professional skill, core skill, and level of responsibility. What that certificate level probably should be made, we should give attributes that the candidate of certificate level will show that he is responsible for his own work, while graduate or postgraduate will be have to demonstrate that he is responsible for complete team. So that is how our assessment and curriculum has to be designed. Now this level descriptor, say we talk about process and their complexity. Process is the first level descriptor. It is the general summary of other 4 domains. Now professional knowledge, it is what a learner should know and understand cognitive domain with reference to subject or field of knowledge. It should describe depth, breadth, kind of knowledge and complexity depending upon the level. That should be very clearly described in our expected learning outcome. Depth of knowledge can be general or in a specialized. Breadth of knowledge can range from single topic to a multidisciplinary area of knowledge. Kind of knowledge can be concrete to abstract, from segmented to cumulative. And complexity of knowledge refers to combination of kind, depth, breadth of the knowledge. So professional knowledge description, that is first domain, cognitive domain. What is expected from certificate? What is expected from diploma? What is expected from degree? It has to be very clearly stated. So the job of individual university institution and probably individual teacher will be to be very clear. If I am teaching a given course for say first year, my expected learning outcome for that subject which I am teaching will be different. If I am teaching for final year, it will be different. Second is professional skill. What a learner should be able to do. See, first was he should know and understand. Now, whatever the candidate knows or understand, he should be able to do. So, what is expected? Cognitive and creative skills involving use of intuitive, logical, critical thinking. Communication skills involving written, oral, literary, numerary. So, what is expected from first year student? And what is expected from final year student while project presentation, seminar, group discussion. So complexity will be different, expectations will be different. Interpersonal skills, generic skills that a learner should possess to perform a task or job competently, productively and independently, and also as a part of team. So teamwork will be essential part of our curriculum, and we have to ensure that we have to provide, you can say, the scope for testing the how much job a student can do independently or as a part of team. Even cultural events, sports event can be the assessment sites wherein we will give the marks by observation. In project, in classroom, we can observe and we can give the marks or credit depending upon our testing of that student. But friends, we will have to keep complete record of whatever you can say assessment rubrics of assessment and evaluation will be the key point while certifying the attainment of attributes. Core skills is the basic skills involving dexterity and use of method, material, tools and instruments used for performing the job, including information technology skills needed for a given level of study and work. Study and work, both words are important. Probably certificate level student will be expected that instrument is given, training is given how to use, and he will be expected to practice or use it efficiently. But third year student, a degree holder, it's not only sufficient for that student to how to use a given instrument, but student is expected to select the proper instrument. There may be n number of instruments, to perform a given task. In case of certificate, that instrument will be given and that candidate will be expected to use that given instrument. But final year student will be expected to select the instrument from a given set of instruments. That is how the level and complexity will increase, and we have to test accordingly. Now it clearly shows our way we give practicals or experiment to the first year student and to the final year student will vastly differ. In experiential learning, first year experiential learning certificate level will be different than that of final year experiential learning. Last is responsibility that the learner can be entrusted on their own. To what degree supervision is required for that student for doing a job. Degree of supervision is capable of exercising over others. That is the level at which the learner can supervise also others. So certificate level, probably the attribute will be he needs more supervision. But degree level, supervision may not be required. So this is what, see, there will be some teachers who need some class monitoring, lower level attainment. There may be teachers who don't need to be supervised. They don't need to be monitored. They are professional. They will never miss the class. They will never miss the content topic. Higher level. That is how in our students also during their project work or that we have to give attributes. So for first year student, degree of supervision required may be high, but we have to have attribute for final year student where they will become more autonomous. It determines the nature of working relationship. It determines the level of responsibility for self and others. It determines the attitude towards managing the change and accountability for actions. So these are the parameters on which every level we have to assess, perform, design syllabus and impart education. Now, as per NSQF, with multiple entry and multiple exit options, you can say level-based education will be NSQF level 4. It will be certificates, 6 months NSQF level. Credits are 30. Entry level is after 10 plus 2 or equivalent. So that is why in the beginning I was saying, since we are talking about higher education institution, even for vocational courses, NSQF aligned courses, we have to operate our courses. Even 6 months NSQF course we can run, wherein we can give certificate. While in NHEQF, you will find certificate is of 1 year. And that is of 40 credit certificate. In case of NSQF, it is 6 month certificate. So if we are giving certificate after 6 months of training, we have to ensure that students are after level 4 they are entering into it, or 3.5 they are entering into it. The course is of 30 credits, duration is of 6 months, and level we have to very clearly mention on that certificate that 6 month certificate is NSQF level. If it is 1 year, now there will be 2 certificates. One student carrying certificate of 6 months, one student carrying one certificate of 1 year. How equivalency will be there? Equivalency will be there for 6 months. It will be mentioned it is NSQF level 4, while 1 year certificate will be having an HEQF of level 4.5. Here student will be doing 30 credits. Their student will be doing minimum 40 credits. Now, next is diploma, then advanced diploma, then degree, PhD degree, postgraduate degree, MHOG degree, and research level. So this is how from level 4 to 10, HEI will operate. Certifications like certificate to research will be their PhD. Duration will be from 6 months. Say for MTech, it will MWork, it will be 2 years, and credits will be from 30 credits to 120 credits. For postgraduate level, I am talking about level 9. So this is how qualification framework will be there in case of skill qualification, NSQF. Now for each level, you will find, even though parameters are only those 5, but depending upon the level, the complexity and expected learning outcome will differ. Say, for example, if it is certificate level, so process is given, professional knowledge is given, professional skill is given, core skill is given, and responsibility is given. So this is what is expected from NSQF level 5, that is certificate level, 6 months, 30 credit course. So here you will find that responsibility is for the same work, even for core skill only desired mathematical understanding, very basic, no complexity. If we have to give the statements that this is what is expected out of course, so these are our learning outcome, we have to measure the attainment on this basis, and if attainments are there, we have to issue certificate. So this is for diploma level. You will find parameters are same: process, professional knowledge, professional skill, core skill, responsibility. So they are same. Even domains are same: knowledge, skill, and attitude. But complexity, depth, and breadth, you will find goes on changing as you go from level 5 to level 6, from level 6 to level 7. This is what is expected from, these are the qualification statements which should be made very clear before framing the syllabus, before imparting the training, before assessment and evaluation. On the basis of NSQF, after implementation or declaration of NEP 2020 as a policy acceptance, this National Higher Education Qualification Framework is also evolved by our statutory body. So this is another instrument which is to be used while implementation of NEP. So we should be aware of NHEQF. Now we have understood International Qualification Framework Dublin parameters. We have understood National Skill Qualification Framework or National Qualification Framework in general, and we have understood qualification descriptors for each level in NSQF on 5 elements. Now, since these two things we have understood, it is very easy to understand NHEQF, which is for our academic stream. So this NHEQF has been evolved from NQF and NSQF. Only change is, again, philosophy is same, level-wise qualification descriptor as we go from lower level to higher level, complexity, depth, and breadth on all those 3 domains and 5 parameters will increase. That remains same. Only change is in case of NHEQF, the national instrument has given the classification and recognition of qualification along a continuum levels from 4.5 to 8. In case of NSQF, it was 5 to 10. In case of NHEQF, it is 4.5 to 8. Levels 1 to 4 is for school education. Remember, friend, this framework is uniform for complete education system of the country. So again, I repeat, irrespective of where and which institute or university, the framework will remain same. So all universities will be operating on the framework from 4.5 to 8. Now, level 4.5 will be undergraduate certificate. Program duration will be first year, that is 2 semesters and 44 credits. And if, since it is multiple entry, multiple exit, if student wants to exit after 1 year, that is level 4.5, the student will have to undergo either internship or 4 credit skill enhancement course. So every institution will have to be ready with skill enhancement courses, because if the student wishes to exit the course at any level, that is any year, the student is required to undergo some credit skill enhancement courses or internship. So that is the vertical. That is why skill development, and we have to be very ready and prepared along with our general education component, the skill education component or vocational education component. Earlier, we used to talk first year, second year, third year. Now, along with first year, second year, third year, we will be talking about first year means this student are of 4.5 level. This student are of level 5 and these students are of level 5. Now, when we designate first year student with level 4.5, our board of studies, those who prepare the syllabi or those impart the education, they should also understand while preparing the curriculum or imparting the curriculum or for assessing, evaluation and examining that we are preparing for which level, that is which year, and what are the parameters for all three domains. Accordingly, as per this framework only, we will have to design, operate and assess irrespective of the institution or university we are working with. So the levels are up to 8 and level 8 is doctoral. Say level 7 will be master's professional program after 4 years degree, and 6.5 will be, you can say, a master's program of 2 years, 3 plus 2 years. Means there will be for post-graduation also, there will be 3 types of program. The student opting 3 years UG degree for BA, BCom, BSc, general education component. The student can go for 2 years of PG program. The student who opts for 4 years of UG program can go for 1 year of PG program, or student can go for 5 years integrated PG program. All the way you will find that after 12, it will be 5 years postgraduate program, maybe 3 plus 2, 4 plus 1, or 5 years integrated. And for each program, level is there. So level 6, level 6.5, level 7, level 8, duration is mentioned, semesters are mentioned, and you can say what are additional component, say skilling courses or internship required, those things are given. So now everybody will have to operate under this framework. Now, qualification descriptors, as we have seen for in case of NSQF, the qualification descriptors on 5 parameters or 5 elements are given. Even for NHEQF, the descriptors are given for 3 domains and 5 parameters. So obviously we know 3 domains means knowledge understanding domain, skill domain, and behavioral domain. So for each domain, and 5 parameters will be there for each level, and we, the stakeholder in our higher education, maybe teachers, maybe university, board of studies, academic bodies or institution or university, will have to ensure that we have qualification descriptors as per each level, and we have got examination systems to attend the attainment, to you can say certify the attainment as per the expected qualification descriptor. You will find here levels 4.5, level 5, level 5.5, that is certificate, diploma and degree is there. Domain or descriptive element is same, knowledge and understanding. So all those same 5 descriptors are there. And under this domain, you will find that for certificate, while facts, principles, theories are expected for certificate, here theoretical and technical knowledge in broader context is expected. While in case of degree, even though domain is knowledge and understanding, the comprehensive, theoretical and specialized knowledge with depth is expected. So this is how the syllabus will be framed. This is how the syllabus will be taught, and this description statement will be verified while we will assess or evaluate the student. And we will be mapping attainment of this description with each student, and according to that, according to the attainment, the credits and certifications will be there. In case of psychomotor domain, our today's main discussion, certificate level, diploma level, and degree level, expected learning outcome for that element of descriptor is application of knowledge. But you will find that for certificate level, it is expected that practical skills to select and use basic methods tools is required. While if you go to the bachelor degrees, right approach to generate the solution to the problem is expected. This is how the expected learning outcome for a certificate student, that is first year student or level 4.5, will differ from third year student, that is level 5.5 student or bachelor's degree level. And with these descriptions, qualification description, we have to design our courses, we have to impart education accordingly, we have to arrange practicals so that demonstration of attainment of these attributes are evident before issuing any qualification or any certification to the student. Second type of skill element is skills required to perform and accomplish tasks. Here you will find that cognitive and technical skills to perform the task is for using the relevant method, tool, material to assess appropriateness. While in degree level, you will find the technical skills required to generate the solution. So generate the solutions means for a given problem or a similar problem in new situation. So this is what will be expected from the degree, while from certificate in a familiar situation, student is expected to perform and use appropriate and relevant method. So this is the difference, even skills required to perform or accomplish the task. And the third important element is employability ready skill or entrepreneurship skills and mindset. In case of certificate, you will find student is expected to exercise responsibility for the completion of assigned tasks, while for degree exercise management and supervision in context of work or study activity involving unpredictable work processes. Very important word is used. Friends, up till now, our education system was to prepare students for expected questions. Our whole system, say up to schooling, there are expected question paper sets available in the market. Students or the questions after every, you can say, lesson or chapter are available, and students are expected to solve the expected questions, answers for expected questions. Even at university level, generally, I am not talking about all, but generally, if last 3, 4, 5, 6 years papers are available, one can expect the expected questions and answers were ready. Yes, sir. Sharma, sir, please.
Yes, sir. Whatever the parameters you have given, that is right. That is very correct. But sir, in modern study, we can use the case study methodology.
Yes, very much, sir. Sir, it is not about what method, assessment tools we are using. There is a separate, you can say, document available given by statutory authorities regarding assessment and evaluation. So case study is one of the important tools of assessment. But even if you are using case study, what is expected to be assessed should be based on these 5 parameters. Even through case study also, we have to ensure that student is able to demonstrate acquisition of attributes related to these 5 parameters. Whatever method you use quiz, you use class test, you use project, you use case study, whatever method you use. But ultimate, your learning outcome should be very clear. When you give the case study, what are you expecting students to learn? What are the expected learning outcome from case study? Now, case study can be given to first year student. So he is level 4.5 certificate. Their expected learning outcome will be different than the case study given to the final year student. Their expected learning outcome will be different. And we have to assess and evaluate first year or level 4.5 or certificate level student from the expected learning outcome of that level, while we have to assess the student from final year from different expected learning outcome. And how this expected learning outcome will differ? They will differ upon these 5 elements which are given for that qualification descriptor. Now, qualification descriptor is a standard framework given. You can add little bit change, but spirit, no university, no institution can change. Qualification descriptors are internationally aligned, made standardized as a framework for making uniformity and equivalency of all certifications or qualifications, first pan-India, then pan-globe. So that is why program outcomes are fixed, globally fixed. Learning outcomes, they should based on this qualification framework. Which technique you use, you have got full liberty. This is the way now NEP implementation, when it will be implemented, the system, operating system will be like this. Am I little bit clear, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So
Okay.
this is what. Now, last, this appetitive domain. The element is constitutional, humanistic, ethical, and moral values. So obviously, one of the verticals of our curriculum based on NEP will have essentially this element, that is constitutional humanities, value education will be essential part of our higher education system, irrespective of where the institution is located. And what is expected from first year, what is expected from second year, what is expected from third year, or what is expected from 4.5 level, 5 level, or 5.5 level, or what is expected from certificate, diploma, or degree. They are all anonymous. I am using all similar words. And here you will find, even in this descriptor of moral and ethical values, expectation of certificate level is that students should be able to put forth convincing arguments to respond to ethical and moral issues associated with chosen field. So he is expected to embrace, he should be aware, he should inculcate these values in his own life, and wherever issues come, he should be able to put up. This is what is expected from a certificate level or first year student. While if you go to the third year or degree level student, you will find the student or the graduate should be able to identify, number one, what are the ethical issues. He should be able to formulate argument, and he should be able to inculcate ethical practices in the domain wherever he will be working. So you will find that expected level, even in case of moral human value. I am very ethical, I am very moral. Okay, I am practicing on my individual level all good practices, constitutional, humanistic, ethical, moral. So I am certificate level. Now I am inculcating those values in my system. I ensure, I formulate, and I ensure integration of value-based system in my profession, means I am graduate level. Say, for example, one small example comes to my mind, that we usually give project or assignments in our regular curriculum. Everybody of us knows that in most of the group assignments, one or two students, They do the task, they prepare the assignments. Many others simply copy and submit it to us. We evaluate and we give the marks. Now, at PhD level, we say that plagiarism is evil. It is a crime. For plagiarism, it is a very, very serious crime in academics. We say that for PhD, it is crime. So is it not crime for first year assignment? So this is how we will have to change ourselves. We will have to inculcate or change the practice of giving assignment wherever we openly know that in such cases, plagiarism do happen, and we knowingly, unknowingly make it as a part of a system. We allow it to happen in spite of knowing it. So it becomes a part in their life of the student. They don't feel that if I copy somebody matters. If I simply take somebody's work in my credit, so what's there? Because such qualities have to be now ingrained into the student. That is why these constitutional, ethical, moral values have been made as one of the elements of descriptor, and we have to ensure attainment. So what we have to do in laboratory or group work, one of our rubrics will be who is the original doer and who is the copy paste master. Even in laboratory, who really takes the reading and who simply copy it. So all those rubrics will be there in the assessment of assignment or practical. We have to maintain a record. We have to ensure that those who get involved, they stop it and some originality or copying practices is stopped, and their evaluation, we should be able to put forth that this group of students have been ranked higher because their ethical moral values are a bit higher than remaining. So to that extent, our teaching pedagogies and assessment techniques will change. So that is a complete, I think, 1 week program for what reforms will come in valuation, assessment, and examinations. But for today's session, we should understand that this is one of the descriptor, and we have to assess and show attainment of these attributes by the student when we give some marks or some grades to the student. This is what is expected in implementation of NEP. So last part, because we have to keep some time for question answer also. So even though many matter is there, I will now content myself to last skill component, that is life skill education. If we go to a UGC site, you will find very nice document as an instrument for implementation of this component of skill education is already made available, and this University Grants Commission has given curriculum and guidelines for life skills education, and it is expected that it also is important vertical of NEP while we implement it actually through university or through our institution. These life skills, they have identified or classified into 6 groups, and there you will find the very clearly written that it will contribute in achieving sustainable development goals. So in our first slide, we have seen NEP has footprints of Bones Declaration, concept of sustainable development that we have witnessed in each document of statutory authorities, including life skill education. The outcome expected is contributing in achievement of sustainable development goals. Now, these groups, which are considered to be essential life skills, are thinking skills, social skills, emotional skills, communication skills, and professional skills. So this communication skill, professional skills, say resume skills, interview skills, group discussion skills, team skills, leadership and management skills, they will also be integral part of our curriculum. Many times, language subject teachers are afraid that in NEP, whether importance of language has been reduced, whether our workload will go down. Friends, even if you see only this life skills part also, you will find that they are completely related with language teacher. Only earlier, if they were teaching text, now along with say text or prose, poetry, some say drama, etc., Shakespeare, George Bernard Shaw, all those literary teaching. Now, along with that, that content will probably get reduced. It will not get completely eliminated, but new course content will come. Friends, let us appreciate the irony of present education system, that knowledge and information generated in 19th century, learned by we people who represent 20th century, 20 century. We have learned in 20th century, we have become teachers, most of us in 20th century, and knowledge of 19th century learned by 20th century is to be imparted for 21st century. So this gap is to be filled. That is why now focus is on capacity building for 21st century needs. Accordingly, even our curriculums will get modified to be suitable for 21st century needs of the society and the world. Accordingly, the life skills, say communication skills, which I am showing, probably it has to be taught only and only by language teacher. Resume skills, maybe language 1, language 2. You will find it is to be taught by only language teacher. Interview skill, group discussion skill, career opportunity, presentation skill, listening skill, brainstorming, internal communication, digital communication. So they are all related to applied part of languages. So they will be the integral part of our curriculum as a part of skill education, as well as leadership and managerial skill. So one of the verticals of National Education Policy curriculum, you will find along with major, minor, etc., you will find skilling, vocational education, life skills education. Those are also important component of National Education Policy and verticals of our curriculum. So all subjects related to this will come in our NEP. Last important framework under which we all will be operating is National Credit Framework. My request will be, even though we are almost here for 90 minutes, please give attention for at least 2-3 minutes, because this will be the base document of equivalency of all qualification across India. What are those? The credits are after, you can say, program, training, successful assessment. So assessment is important. Credits can be earned from whatever learning the student does. So let it be cultural program, sports program, formal education, training, skilling, experiential learning, field visit. So wherever and whatever way the student spends time in learning, the student will earn credits. Credits have to be earned. So from where student will earn? From everywhere, online, offline, field work, social gatherings, everywhere the student will be provided with credit. That is the foundation of credit framework. Now, important, what I want to bring to your notice, friend, is 1 year. What do we mean by 1 year? 1 year means for NHEQF, not NSQF. For 1 year means 1200 hours of learning. It is not about teaching, and 40 credits. So 1 year means 1200. So one semester will be 600. 1 year 1200 means 40 credits. So one semester means 600 hours and 20 credits. So our syllabus framework should ensure that learning hours provided in the scheme of learning and teaching are not less than 600 hours in per semester. I will show you the last slide in that. The verticals of our curriculum will be, what will be the content of our curriculum? Every UG curriculum will have major and minor subjects, core and elective. Every curriculum will have courses of Indian knowledge system, IKS. One will be on generic, one will be subject specific, major specific. Every curriculum will have provision of experiential learning, that is internship, field-based learning and practices, fostering social responsibility, that is community engagement and service, vocational and skill enhancement. These will be the essential component of our curriculum, and it will be based on outcome-based education system, and one semester will be of 600 hours. Say, for example, one semester is of 90 teaching days. If my university says I have got 15 weeks for 90 teaching days per semester, then your scheme should show 600 divided by 15, that is 40 hours per week of learning, which is too much. So our university will have or should have 18 to 90, 18 or 19 weeks per semester for 90 days teaching. So it will have minimum 33, 34 learning hours in syllabus. So our syllabus teaching scheme, learning scheme should show minimum 18 to 19 weeks of learning, 90 teaching days per semester, and it should show 34, 33 learning hours and 20 to 22 credits per semester. And this will be the framework common for all universities pan-India, so that equivalency of learning, equivalency of credit, and all the verticals which we have discussed, they will be essential. This is how the NEP will be implemented in coming years. This is my understanding of NEP. I am not the master. I am also a student like all of us. So if some mistakes are committed, some people may have more knowledge, they may have something more to give and share. I am open to that. But as per my understanding, NEP means 3 domains: level-based, skill and behavior given, very important, 7 verticals: major, minor, ability enhancement course, Indian knowledge system, experiential learning, community engagement, fostering social responsibility, and it will be on 5 qualification descriptors. Each level will have its own qualification descriptor, and we will have 1200 hours of learning per year, 40 credits. We are there in semester pattern, 600 learning hours, 20 credits. If I come to week, if the semester is of 15 weeks, then 40 learning hours per week. If it is of 18, 19 weeks, then 33, 34 hours of learning. Under this framework, we have to operate, and it will be uniform for all institutions in India. I sincerely express my thanks to all those learned professors for attending, for listening, actively participating. I am thankful to our team of Madan Mohan Malviya teachers training program, Ankit, all director, coordinator, Dr. Atik sir, Pro Vice Chancellor Vadegaonkar sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor Marathe sir, and all those who have helped us to organize this and given me opportunity to interact with you. Thank you very much, friends. If any query, we can discuss for 5-10 minutes and then we will stop. Ankit, is it okay?
Yes, sir. Yes. Sir, we are really thankful to you, sir, for such a wonderful and
Thank
insightful
you.
session. Yes, participants, the forum is open for discussion. If you have any queries or the question, you can directly ask to Professor Marathe, sir. Please, anyone. Yes, Dr. Sharma, sir, is there anything you can discuss? Sharma, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
please.
overall your session is very good. And sir, every time whenever we are attending, so new energy we are getting.
Thank
But
you,
sir,
sir. Thank you.
in our BA and BCom level,
Right, sir.
this credit system and
Yes, sir.
its means application, it is
Yes.
very difficult. Now we are undergoing in a project. Means we are giving the project to the students. This case study methodology also we are going to be apply in a
Right.
very small level. But
Right.
the application is very difficult.
Sir, in the beginning, we may feel, but just one line I will add. People face difficulty for internship like a thing. But government of Maharashtra has issued a special GR making mandatory the all government, semi-government organizations and offices to provide internship whenever through principal or through university applications will come. It is made mandate, given mandate to all government, semi-government organizations. Secondly, Board of Apprentice Training, Government of India's body, which is known as board, is also requested to consider internship along with apprenticeship and to issue circular, because internship is made mandatory through NEP for all. Now private sector people will also have mandate to provide opportunity. Research laboratories or good, suppose there is some good research center in the vicinity, it is permitted to go for internship there also. So project, case studies, internship, field work, even NSS, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, everything has been brought under compass for getting credit and providing learning. Initially, teaching difficulties will definitely be there, sir. But overall, all verticals, if you see, are essential for overall development and need of the hour. So probably after within a year or two, things will get streamlined. It had happened in this case also.
Sir,
Yes,
at the university level,
Yes, sir.
a separate machinery must be prepared for the internship, OJT from university level to college level,
Yes,
just
yes.
like as a special nodal officer,
Sir,
coordinator.
internship policy is framed by UGC, by state government, and direction is being prepared at university level. So university as well as government and UGC level, lot of work is already on OJT and internship. You will soon get that document for that also. Colleges and individual teachers will have to work, definitely. We have to up our sleeves on that account. But at university level and government level also, sir, work is starting. I am fully aware. At times I am part of it. So with confidence, I am telling you, for OJT and internship, things are going.
Okay, thank you, sir.
yes, Dr. Patrikar, madam. Dr. Mamta Patrikar, madam. If you
हा
are,
सर हा
yes,
सर माझा एक असा प्रश्न आहे सर, एका कोर्सला किती विद्यार्थी आपण घेऊ शकतो आणि एक विद्यार्थी किती कोर्सला जॉईन होऊ शकतो?
आता एका कोर्सला किती विद्यार्थी घेऊ शकतो हा तर
हा.
प्रश्न जेव्हा आपले डायरेक्टर ऑफ एज्युकेशन आणि हे लोक तुम्हाला बॅच वगैरे सांगतील. आय एम नॉट अथॉरिटी, सो आय शुड नॉट गिव्ह एनी कॉमेंट ऑन publicly on this. But
ओके सर.
how many courses student can take, I can definitely say. Number one, there is no limit.
अच्छा.
Fast learner can take, but minimum, what I am saying is minimum how many courses student have to take. There will be, all verticals are mandatory. Every student will have to take mandatorily courses from all verticals. Number one. Now verticals I have given you major, minor, AEC, all verticals I have mentioned. Internship, OJT, so skill courses. So every student will have to undergo minimum that. Offered credit per semester will be 22. So over 6 semester offered credits will be 132, and students have to earn 120 credit out of 132. So one student may earn 120, he will get credit. Another student will earn 132, he will also get, or that student will also get credit. Credits will be deposited in academic bank of credit. A student who have got earned 90 credits, he will use all 90 credits to get degree, while student who has earned 132 credits, he will take 90 credits for degree, remaining will remain in his bank, so he can utilize it for any diploma or other.
ओके सर, थँक्यू.
नमस्कार सर. खूप छान सेशन झालेलं आहे आणि तुम्ही नेहमीच आम्हाला प्रेरणा देता. माझा एक प्रश्न असा आहे की मूक्स आणि कोर्सेरा हे जे काही कोर्सेस आहे जे कंपल्शन केलेले आहेत, तर याला काही पर्याय आहे की कंपल्सरी विद्यार्थ्यांना करायचा आहे तो?
Presently, UGC has approved Swayam platform courses. But let us hope in soon Coursera and other platforms will be also there. Maharashtra government is also making one Swayam like Mahaswayam platform for Maharashtra state also. So that
सर प्रश्न असा आहे की याची एक्झाम फी राहते, त्याशिवाय सर्टिफिकेट इश्यू होत नाही.
नाही तर मॅन्डेटरी नाहीये सर. कदाचित महास्वयं मध्ये ते कदाचित फी ठेवणार नाही, पण एक लक्षात घ्या, स्टुडंट कॅन ऑप्ट अप टू 40% ऑन स्वयं प्लॅटफॉर्म. It is up to 40%. If some students don't want to pay and they don't have capacity, they need not go for Swayam. They can go for university courses.
ओके, म्हणजे पर्याय त्याला आहे. ओके, थँक्यू सर.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. One of the question in the chat box from Dr. Himanshu Joshi, sir. Hello, Professor Marathe, sir.
Yeah. Please, sir,
Yes,
read it.
sir.
Please.
Sir, one side we are talking about the skill-based education, and one side we are talking about the multidisciplinary subject.
Yeah.
So, how these two things can be matched?
Sir, skill is inseparable part of any course, let it be of one discipline or second discipline or multidiscipline. Skill and behavior will be integral part of any course you take, whether it is monodiscipline, multidiscipline or interdiscipline. So it is integral part. Skill enhancement module or skill enhancement course or internship or experiential learning will be integral part of any discipline you study.
Yes, is there anyone has any queries or the questions? और किसी के कोई क्वेश्चंस या प्रश्न है तो हम आप लोग पूछ सकते हैं, प्लीज.
Or they can post it later on also, Ankit. No problem. I will be there.
Okay, so shall we conclude, sir? If you could permit this session.
Yeah. Please, sir. Please conclude. Thanks to everybody. Yeah.
So I here to extend my sincere gratitude to Professor Marathe, sir, for being with us, enlighten us, and motivate us towards the implementation of NEP with the special component that is the skill development that has been government come up with the various reforms as sir has told in his session, that is compulsorily internship, apprenticeship, and other project works and job demanding trainings. So these are the now integral parts, and sir has explained this concept of skill development in a very complex concept in a very simplest matter. Sir, really we are thankful to you for because now the skilling and the internship is a mandatory part, and we are trying to connect our students to the various internships. Yes, there are a number of challenges for the student internship because some of the kinds of industries or the another areas where the internships are required are not available, but within couple of days or within couple of years that will be made available by the government, and also universities and the colleges, they are also trying on their level base. So on behalf of Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, I extend my sincere thanks to Professor Marathe sir. I am also express my sincere thanks to all the participants because they are patiently listening from last 3 years, as well as those participants who have actively take the participation in interaction, because sir has played their role for explaining the skill education and their integration in the curricula. But whatever may be the questions or the queries raised by the participants, without that our confusions will not be clear. So I will very much thankful to all the participants who have taken the active participation in this discussion. And lastly, I once again express my sincere gratitude to Professor Marathe sir, and with the consent of Professor Marathe sir, I would like to declare that this session will be over here. Thank you so much sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you everyone, and we will stop here and meet tomorrow sharp at 4 p.m. with our tomorrow schedule. Thank you.